No wrestler that does a promo, and for those unaware, their speech on a microphone, they never say...
I love that we have to teach these basic wrestling terms to people, but yeah. Speech on a microphone equals promo, yeah.
They never say, I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to do a leg tie, and then I'm going to throw you against the ropes, and all of the logic of the match that lies, but they pull on the crowd's emotion, and that's why The Rock was so good. That's why Stone Cold Steve Austin was so good, because they're pulling at everyone's heartstrings, trying to tap into a market that's there, and that people go, oh, I feel that way too. Not, which is, I also think, is why Bret Hart was never as big as he could have been, because he was a scientific wrestler, and it was so strict on the actual movements in the ring rather than the bigger persona. So I think libertarianism kind of has that same, we're dealing with the same issue. We've kind of articulated it here, but is there a different weakness within libertarianism other than this that you would point out?
Oh man, I want to dive into this analogy a little bit more first.
Okay, let's do it.
It's so freaking perfect, actually. Like, I mean, because what you said right there, like the reasons that like The Rock became a huge superstar, or the reasons that Stone Cold Steve Austin might be even a better example. Like they didn't become huge because, like you said, they were like the best technical wrestlers and they did all the right moves and they laid out the step A, B, C, D of how they're going to tactically take down their opponent, because that wouldn't have gotten anyone excited. That wouldn't have gotten like tens of thousands, 100,000 people in a stadium just roaring with excitement. That would never get people to do that. What excited people was their narrative, was the narrative behind their story. Was what drove them to want to win the match. It's not how you're going to win the match. It's why we care if you win the match.
Yes.
And so maybe that is what the Libertarian Party is missing, or the Liberty Movement is missing. We know the logic. Like, you can spend all day in the gym learning to be the best technical professional wrestler that has ever existed. And Bret Hart might be one of those best technical wrestlers that ever existed, but he is not one of the biggest superstars that ever existed. He is for people like you and me, like, yeah. But he's not a household name, you know, right. Like, yeah, maybe people have heard of him. Like, he appeared on The Simpsons. Okay. But is he The Rock?
Right.
No. Is he Stone Cold Steve Austin? No. Is he even Daniel Bryan? No.
Right.
And Daniel Bryan might be the perfect, I'm so glad we're getting deep in the weeds on wrestling right now on this podcast, but Daniel Bryan might be the perfect archetype of what libertarians should strive to be, because Daniel Bryan is the perfect technical wrestler. He does have all the skills. He does have the logic, so to speak, like libertarians have. Yeah. But he also has the story. He has the best story of the last maybe decade of any wrestler. You know, he's the one that's always overlooked. He's like the one that's told he can never win. He's the libertarians, even though in real life he's nothing like a libertarian. But that's a different story altogether. But you know, he is the one that is seen as the joke. And the reason people get excited about him winning is because they see. It's not that they see he's the best technical wrestler. That's just icing on the cake. It's that they see that he has been treated like a joke, and this is in real life, because and that's why it connects so much, because it connects to a real life story. The best wrestling stories that connect with people. It's not as cool as it is. It's not you know, that The Undertaker was, you know, Paul, you know, and Kane, and they had they lit his younger brother on fire. Like, that's a cool story, but that's not the one that really, really connects with people. That's not the master story. That's not the meta story. The real story is the story that has a real life basis in it.